Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mythgard and Middle-earth. I'm here on the LOTRO channel. Very grateful to our friends at Turbine for letting me broadcast here. I'm very excited for this new series. Let me introduce myself. My name is Corey Olsen. I'm the host of the Tolkien Professor podcast, as well as the president of the Mythgard Institute. And we are really excited about this new series. I heard about LOTRO, about back when it started. But I resisted for a long time, chiefly because I love video games, and I was afraid I was going to lose my job if I tried it. But so I didn't at the time. But I've seen since how wrong I was to resist. It is even better than my friends and podcast listeners told me at the time. I have been really excited to explore The Lord of the Rings online. As many of you who follow my podcast know, I've been spending a lot of time over the last few years thinking about adaptation and the adaptation of Tolkien's world, and I've been having a lot of fun talking about the Peter Jackson films and thinking about adaptation and adaptation choices. And I have been really delighted to see the adaptation of Tolkien's book and of Tolkien's world that they've done at Lord of the Rings Online. I think it is really brilliant. It's rapidly become my favorite adaptation of Tolkien's work ever in any media, actually, any medium, I should say. So I've been doing a lot of exploring and sort of figuring things out and finding my way around. So what I decided that I wanted to do was to do a sort of multimedia lecture series. Where we can explore Middle-earth together. So this is a great way for you to get a look into the Lord of the Rings Online world if you've never been there yourself. If you're a LOTRO veteran, then I hope we'll be able to have some really fun conversations about the connections between Tolkien's works and the game. So I hope that this will be fun for everybody. What I'm going to do in this series is I'm going to create a new character, and I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to primarily follow the epic quest line. LOTRO has this series of quests. They have quests you can do all over the place. You wander around from one region to another, and there are always things to do and people in need of assistance for you to go and help them. But there's this central thread which forms the primary chronological plot, and it sort of tracks alongside, not always exactly parallel, but it tracks alongside the plot of the Lord of the Rings, and it's one of the things that I find really fascinating about the creative enterprise of the Lord of the Rings Online is that it's not just that they've sort of created this world for you to go out and explore. I mean, they did that, but in addition, they've superimposed on that a chronologically based quest line where you're actually you're keeping up with. So you're exploring through Middle-earth, but at various points in your gaming experience, that you'll be able to track with the Fellowship. You'll be able to check in. You'll see in these episodes that we do. We'll be checking in with Aragorn while he's still at the Prancing Pony, waiting for some sign of Frodo. We'll see when he departs with Frodo and Gandalf is there instead, briefly. We can catch up with the Fellowship at Rivendell when they're waiting after they've crossed the fords of Bruinen, and they're waiting for the spies to return before they can set off on the quest. So it's really interesting how it follows along, and the relationship between the storyline that LOTRO has built in for the players and the storyline of the books is one of the things that I find really fascinating, and that I'm going to have a fun time exploring with you. One sort of technical note for those who we're planning to post the videos of these on our YouTube channel, so people should be able to see them who can't attend the sessions live. But if you are attending live, welcome. I see a number of people in the chat room here so far, and I'm also hoping to be taking questions. I'll be watching the chat window as we go by. Anyway, I'm gonna. There should be times when I can just sort of take open questions. Feel free to make comments or ask questions about anything, related to what's going on, or even random questions. If I don't get to your question, I apologize. There are a lot of people here, so I might not be able to address everybody. But I hope that we can do a bunch of that. Open questions. Okay. All right. let me start with, here we have the character creation screen, right? So I'm starting here at the beginning. I've decided I wanted to do a Hobbit burglar. There are several reasons why I've chosen a Hobbit burglar. The primary reason, of course, is I feel, the desire to do, sort of an homage to Bilbo. That sort of seems only fitting, especially with all the stuff I've done with The Hobbit before, with my book and everything. Also, if you've read my book or listened to my podcast, you might also perhaps suspect that I want to do a burglar because it will enable me to use the word burglarious more often. And if you think that, you're probably right. And also, I've never played a burglar in game before either, so this should be fun. That means if you're a veteran LOTRO person, bear with me. I've never played this character before, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is the character creation screen. I think it's, there's a few things that I would want to point out. I could spend probably a whole episode just talking about the classes and races here. I want to get into things and not spend too much time in the minutiae, but I think it is really cool. One thing is that they have tried, and this is one of the main things I give LOTRO credit for, from an adaptation point of view, is that there are really very few occasions where you get the feeling playing LOTRO that they're kind of starting with this framework of their own, like they're kind of imposing a fantasy role-playing game framework, and they're trying to sort of squeeze it into a vaguely Tolkien-like shape. I know I've gotten that impression on many other occasions with other games and in other environments, but I don't see that here. I really like the way that they have their classes. Many of their classes are, in my mind, very interestingly rooted in Tolkien's works and in Tolkien's concepts. I would emphasize, for instance, the minstrel as one character, which I think is importantly, the way that they've done the minstrel is very it shows a lot of attention to the way that music and song is depicted in Tolkien. Of course, if you've read Tolkien, especially if you've read the Silmarillion, you know that song is not just a good thing, it's a powerful thing, and that the great and the greatest and most powerful do what they do. The entire world was mapped out and made through song. And we can even hear, although we see this most strongly in the Silmarillion, we get snatches of that in The Lord of the Rings as well, whether it be in Tom Bombadil's words when he's talking about Old Man Willow, right? He is a mighty singer, right? That means, the influence that he's able to exert on the four hobbits as they're going through the old forest is the product of his song. His song extends out through the forest and he draws them in. Similarly, we can also hear it in Galadriel's poem that she, the song that she sings, and when she says, "I sang of leaves of gold, and leaves of gold there grew." Right? She made the Malorn trees grow in Lothlorien by singing them into being, and song is powerful, and so the minstrels, the minstrel is a pretty powerful character class, and they do things by their song, whether it be exerting power over over their enemies in destroying things with their song, or in healing. They do both, and I think that that's really cool. So anyway, that's just sort of one example of how they have. They've not just kind of started in with the default, sort of Dungeons and Dragons template of character classes and then kind of just attached to them Tolkien labels. So I think that, I've been very impressed by those things. Anyway, I'm going to do the burglar today. And so we'll be following my burglar through. I've got to set up my one thing I wanted to draw attention to over here, the race info. And again, these are other things which they're obviously drawing from the books. Hobbits, of course, are small, so they're less strong than men, for instance. And again, you think of all the reference in The Lord of the Rings to strength is one of the things that they associate with men. He's not a big, strong man like Boromir. But hobbits are tough and they recover from injury rapidly. And again, we know that we're told that right in the prologue to the Fellowship of the Ring. So we see both of they've incorporated both of those elements in the actual gameplay here. Also, Hobbit Courage. There's a seed of courage hidden deep in the heart of every Hobbit, often deeply hidden. It's true. We're told by the narrator in the Barrow Downs. And so hobbits are more resistant to fear than other races. I really like that. And they resist corruption. The 1% shadow mitigation is their gameplay representation of how resistant the hobbits are to fading. They don't become wraiths. This is why Gollum hasn't faded and is still tough, and why Bilbo resists the influence of the ring. So again, I love the way that they've gone through and they've looked at these characteristics that hobbits are said to have as a race. The head of the Houses of Healing in Gondor, you may remember, said they were very tough in the fiber. All of those things, and they've put it into the gameplay. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna make my character so that we can go through here. Let's see. I've made myself a cheat sheet, so I'm gonna let's see. I've got to decide what I look like here, so I'm just gonna scroll through. There we go. Just made some pre-choices here, which I'm going to put on them. There's some hair. Okay, hair's good. Yeah, all right, good. All right, eyebrows, excellent. Yeah, mouth. Okay, now he's got a mouth too. Two lips. Yeah, that'll be good. Green eyes. Thank you. Okay, yeah. All right, looks good. Okay, great. Oh wait, he doesn't have a name. Okay, my name. All right, so I kind of labor over the name of my characters, because names are so important in Tolkien, right? So it's very. But so I've thought about what I'm going to name my Hobbit burglar. And looking over the Hobbit family trees, one of my favorite elements from the Hobbit family trees we get in the appendices to the Return of the King are those little like Easter egg names. He's sort of sprinkled in amongst the names of the hobbits. These names which seem somewhat unlikely. That is, names which are from sort of the epic tradition and stuff, like Fortinbras Took, for instance, which is one almost everybody recognizes because they recognize the name from Hamlet, or Sigismund Took, who is, that's a figure from a name from Norse mythology. My favorite, though, which I had never noticed for the longest time because he's buried in the Brandybuck family tree, is Dodinas, 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 Dodinas Brandybuck. I think that's an awesome name. The reason I think it's an awesome name, that's the name of one of the Knights of the Round Table. And it's the name of one of my favorite Knights of the Round Table, not because he does anything interesting, but because his name is awesome. He is always called, Sir Thomas Malory always calls Sir Dodinas le Savage, though he never explains why he calls him Sir Dodinas the Savage. But anyway, he's always called Dodinas le Savage. So I love the fact that Tolkien, who of course loved the Arthurian tradition, even though he tried to downplay the French stuff in the Arthurian tradition, but he loved it. So he puts in this nod to Dodinas le Savage, which I think is really funny. So I decided I am going to give my Hobbit an Arthurian name as well. And so I'm going to try. We'll see. I'm not sure if this name is in use or not. I'm hoping that it isn't. I'm going to name him after my very favorite Arthurian knight, which is... Oops. How anticlimactic. Lamorak. Sir Lamorak. Actually, I think I'm going to put it with a C, because that looks more... that'll fit in with the Brandybuck family tree a little bit more. Sir Lamorak, in case you don't remember who Sir Lamorak is, in case you don't remember who Sir Lamorak is, he is the third son of King Pellinor, and I've always loved the knight Sir Lamorak because he's always listed as the third best Arthurian knight. Lancelot's number one. Lancelot's always number one. At least in Maori, Lancelot's always number one. So Tristram is number two. And Lamorak is number three. And it's just like, the life of the third best knight. He never gets any real press. There are almost no stories about him. He kind of comes into one of Lancelot's stories once. It is awesome. But we never really learn much about him. So I always found Sir Lamorak to be really kind of enticing. In fact, the only thing that we know about him is that he fell in love with an older woman. Unfortunately, Sir Gawain's mom, actually, and that led to unpleasantness, namely his murder by Sir Gawain and Sir Gawain's brothers, who killed him for being in love with their mom. It's a little complicated. So we're not going to worry about that part of it so much. But anyway, Lamorak is I'm hoping we can do Lamorak in a... Darn it, that name is taken. Is it taken with a K? I'll do the K version. Oh well, I can't do Lamorak. I'll fall back on my second knight choice. My next favorite knight is Sir Gryfflet. Let's see if I can do Sir Gryfflet. Nope. Okay, hang on. I got some options. Since these are from the Middle English versions, I can do all kinds of alternate spellings. Sir Gryfflet with a Y? No. Darn it! See, I always take a long time with the names. Let's see, let's try with 2 Fs. Yes, okay, got it with 2 Fs. All right. So now let's enter Middle-earth here. All right. So, first of all, for those of you watching the live stream, I know that my webcam box is going to be hiding my character stats, so you won't be able to see how close I am to death. But I think that's kind of inevitable, unless you think it would be better down in the bottom corner. I guess I could do that down here. Whoop. And then I can.
While out for a nighttime stroll in the Shire, there is a certain unpleasant feeling lingering about.
All right, that'll be a little better.
Something on the air is strange tonight. Perhaps it is only the unseasonable chill or the great darkness.
So now
of
here
this
I am,
particular evening.
wandering on the road in the Shire. Now, by the way, I want to apologize. I can't. I wasn't able to get my game sounds into the Twitch feed, so you're not going to be able to hear the voiceover which is going on here. Which, if you've never heard, it's telling me that here I'm wandering. I'm wandering on the roads in the Shire, and there's something strange this evening. There's something strange in the air this evening. It feels kind of eerie, and we don't know why. Okay. Actually, yeah, if anyone could tell me how to disable the tutorial prompts, because there are going to be a lot of them. I don't know how to disable them entirely. If any of the veterans who are in the chat want to tell me how to do that, that would be good. Okay, so anyway, so here we are going down the road, and we have Bounder Boffin. I'm good, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Okay, so here's Bounder Boffin. Yep, I know how to do that too. So we're meeting the Bounders. Now, it's interesting that the Bounders are patrolling at night. It wasn't obvious that the Bounders did that much patrolling at night. We're told that the Bounders, who are more in practice haywards than anything else. That is, they're more interested in the straying of beasts than of people. Seeing the Bounders as like the police of the Shire, Tolkien says, is not the right way to be thinking of them. But they're more likely to be catching people's stray cows than anything else. But anyway, okay, I better... The flaming ring above his head is an indication that he is part of the epic quest line. So we're starting off here in the prologue. I'd better talk to Bounder Boffin.
What's your business on the road?
Okay, sure, I'll answer you, Bounder Boffin. No problem. Something doesn't feel right. So Bounder Boffin is a little on edge too. Okay, I wonder what's happening. That's okay, Bounder Boffin. No worries. Yeah, it does seem very strange around here. I wonder where we are. Okay, sure. I'll come along with you. I don't know how to fight as a burglar. Hey, okay, I'll look in the satchel for some weapons.
Inside is a spare weapon. You should loot it for yourself, then equip it to use it.
All right. I will do that. I'm equipping my weapons. Okay, very good. I am now extremely dangerous. Just look at how dangerous I am. I've got 2 very small knives. I am seriously dangerous looking now. Okay. All right, Bounderboffin, what's going on?
Be sure to equip your weapon before we have at it. We
Okay.
also test your skill in battle.
All right, I'm supposed to practice by attacking Bounderboffin. Guess I can do that. Yeah. Oh, take that, Bounderboffin. Okay. Hey, here comes somebody.
Oh my. Did you hear something? Down the road. Who could that be?
Okay. Who's hungry? Oh, Pippin's hungry. And Sam's complaining. And then here's Pippin pestering Sam. This is, of course, just like how... Remember how Pippin tried to get Sam to get up and heat the water for him in the morning, the first morning after they were camping? Here's Frodo being compassionate. Okay, Bounderboffin now... Frodo has already adopted his traveling name. That seems a little unlikely, actually. Still in the Shire, they would probably... somebody this close to Bag End would probably recognize him, maybe. But maybe they're far enough out now. Okay, something is happening. So now we're all cowering in fear. We are experiencing dread. This is one of my favorite elements of the gameplay. One of the most innovative ways in which I think they have tried to integrate one of the more complicated elements of the Lord of the Rings world into the gameplay in ways which I didn't really expect to see represented. And that is the dread and hope scale. You have a score in LOTRO of your dread. See, here's my dread meter. I'm at 5 dread right now, which is not surprising because I am right under the hoofs of a black rider who's asking for Baggins. Fortunately, he's ignoring me. So yes, you can be full of hope, which gives you bonuses. You can be full of dread, which gives you reductions. You can see my health up here. My morale points have gone way down since I was my dread was up to 5. The way so much of the way in which sort of creatures, especially evil creatures, exerted power in the book was through affecting others, with fear and dread. And I was really interested to see that they actually represented that in the game. I think that that's really cool. So okay, I better follow Bounderboffin, who's bravely running away. I saw the Sir Robin reference when I was talking about Arthurian Knights. No, I'm not naming my character after Sir Robin, but Bounderboffin is certainly trying to play the role here. Okay. Very good. Very good. Now, I would again. I would ask. I know there's a lot of traffic in the chat room. If I don't see your question, which I might not, I'm especially in the beginning of the series, is the first time I've done this, so I'm trying to multitask between my game screen and my chat room screen, and I might not be as diligent about that or as vigilant about that as I can possibly be. So anyway, if I miss your question, I'm sorry. Feel free to repeat it until I see it. Anyway, okay, so here I am with Bounderboffin, and there are spiders here. Now, this, of course, gets to one of the issues, which is sort of a fundamental issue with LOTRO, well, I mean, with really MMOs in general. I mean, as with pretty much every other, MMO, every other role-playing game online, combat is the fundamental basis of the game, of experience and everything else. Hang on, I've got to disable my world chat. One of the first things I always do. But anyway, change filters. Please don't bother me with world chat. Thank you. Anyway, so one of the difficulties is that, as I said, almost all RPGs are based on combat, and that's really hard to translate into Tolkien's world, as really, Tolkien's world is not primarily about. I mean, it's hard to see like, what a good hobbit should do is go out and kill lots of things in the woods and gain experience. That's not very Tolkien-like, really. But I will say that, again, granted the fact that the need to include lots of combat is one of the fundamental sort of parameters of the game, they do it pretty well. So we have enemies that we have to fight here in the Shire. It seems, of course, I would go so far as to say wildly improbable that we would have giant spiders right here in the middle of the Green Hill Country between Tuckborough and Stock. But at least they have, what they have done, and they have done this pretty consistently. When they do have enemies for the hobbits to fight, they at least make them sort of hobbitish enemies. All of the enemies that you find in the Shire are enemies that have sort of a history with hobbits within the stories. So, again, from the Bilbo connection, the spiders are not terribly surprising. So, okay, this is now I am doing my burglar thing. Ooh, I can sneak. I'm going to sneak. Here I am. Shh. I'm invisible. I'm going to sneak up on the spider. And is this my secret? Surprise strike! Bam! Oh, didn't see that coming, did you? Oh, yeah. Oh, take that. Okay, wow, I got a lot of experience from that one spider. Okay. All right, I'm sneaking again. I'm sneaking. Here I come. Bam! Oh, sneak attack. Oh, you got nothing, spider. Okay, all right. Come on, Bounder Boffin. That wasn't that bad. Okay.
Well done. Let's press on now.
Well, I'm a bolder hobbit than I, but it doesn't look like that's actually a very high standard Bounder Boffin, but that's okay. I agree. Let's press on. Where are we now? Oh, we're in Old Odo's leaf farm. Oh, a pipeweed farm. There we go. Okay. Oh, more spiders. Got to protect the timorous Bounder Boffin. Who are you attacking, Bounder Boffin? Oh, there you are. All right. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. So the do I get to name my knives now? Can I do that? It's like these are the first spiders I've ever killed, right? I guess I can't name them Sting though. That wouldn't be appropriate. Okay. Wow. All right.
I think
we're
close
to where?
Safe.
Oh, that's right. He's running away. I'm forgetting what Bounder Boffin is doing. He's still boldly running away. We're almost off. We're cutting away. We can get to the nearest town. Okay, so we're trying to go back and what? Report the Black Rider or just escape from him? I think he's just trying to escape. All right. Don't worry, Bounder Boffin. I'll help you escape. Drama. Okay. All right. Okay, there's the road. Who's this? Mundo Sackville Baggins and Celandine Brandybuck are crying for help. They're being chased by brigands. Mungo Sackville Baggins. Mungo is a good old traditional Baggins name. One of Bungo's ancestors was named Mungo. They're being chased by brigands. There's spiders. Black Riders up there. You really don't want a piece of that, I'm sure. Here are the brigands. I got him. I'll tear him apart. Let me at him. I'll rename my knives. I don't think they're going to let me. Coming to arch it. Okay. Oh, you just totally took out Bounder Boffin there. And Mundo Sackville Baggins. They're not putting up much of a fight. Try that on me. Mr. Baggins is wanted. Okay. Hey, did you just hit Celandine Brandybuck? Come over here and try that. Oh, come on. Give me a chance. I'm in a prison surrounded by brigands. Okay, so we're in Archet. I always wondered what Archit was like. It's to me one of the really fun things about LOTRO is being able to discover places which in the books are only names, right? But they're familiar. They become names that are so familiar. Those brigands
seem to turn up in the most
Hey,
unlikely
it's Strider! I'm
places,
being
Bound
rescued
Boffin.
by Strider. Okay. Excellent. Anyway, so these names are familiar names, but you don't have any visuals to go with them, and so I really like the fact that we get to discover some of these places. So here I am in Archit. I always wanted to be in Archit. Okay. Any questions? Again, I'm seeing things flipping by really fast, so I'm not seeing any questions. But okay, good. Let's see. I should speak with my grim-looking rescuer, Strider. Okay, Bounder Boffin and I are at your service here, Strider. So again, what we see here are the Rangers stepping in when hobbits are in trouble. Right? We've got brigands in Archit, so they're not yet. They're not yet attacking Bree. They're not yet operating out of Bree. The assault on Bree is going to come later on, we're told, like after the Fellowship goes through. You remember that Barlaam Butterbird tells the story of it when they return. But we know that that sort of brigands are gathering. We also know that the Rangers, in quiet, sort of discreetly, and off on the side, are protecting the borders of the Shire. So it shouldn't be a shock that a ranger shows up to assist when brigands are waylaying hobbits on the roads of the Shire. And of course, it should be even less surprising that it's Strider, as we know he is watching very carefully the boundaries of the Shire, waiting to hear from Gandalf and to find Frodo, who he's gotten messages from. So
Come
okay,
along. We are not safe.
Hey,
just
Strider.
yet.
I have a brave spirit compared to Bounder Boffin, but I don't know really how much that's saying. So the brigands are hunting for a Baggins, right? So they took a Sackville Baggins. I love that. The fact that they've been, and actually it really brings up an interesting question because, of course, Bilbo and Frodo weren't the only Bagginses in the Shire. The Sackville Bagginses, are there as well, and there's a whole Baggins family tree. So it is like an interesting what if questions from the book, right? If everyone's asking around for Baggins of the Shire, why does that necessarily lead them straight to Frodo, right? I mean, he's one of the obvious candidates and probably the most high-profile one, but there are other Bagginses, so it is an interesting idea that we're just sort of casting a net for any Hobbit named Baggins, and they've nabbed the wrong Baggins here. It also gives a sense, one of the things that the LOTRO epic quest line does such a wonderful job of is adding richness and detail sort of around the edges of the main story. So, so in that opening sequence, right, we saw, that we're in Three's company, right? We're in chapter 3 of the Fellowship of the Ring right now, with Frodo and Pippin and Sam walking across the Shire. And encountering the Black Rider and running off the road and hiding in the grass and bushes when the Black Rider's going by. So we see that happening, but this is giving us meanwhile, what else is going on at that time? And one of the things we know, for instance, by the time the hobbits get to Bree, we know that the Black Riders have made contact with the more ruffianly sorts in Bree. Bill Ferny, is sort of the poster child of that crew, and so they've made contact with them, and they're using those to hunt and do their dirty work for them. We're told that this happens. It's again, we're the game is sort of showing us, off the main track. While the Fellowship of the Ring, the book, is following Frodo and Pippin and Sam's trek across the Shire. Meanwhile, here's what else is happening. We've got brigands waylaying Bagginses on the road and hauling them off to Archit. So that's pretty cool. Okay. All right, Shire. Let's Strider. Let's go help Mundo's. Even though he is a Sackville Baggins, we can help him. Okay. Besides, you're helping us escape, so I suppose I should assist in that endeavor too. All right, let's go. I made it through the door, okay. Don't worry, Bounderboffin, I'll got it. Okay, Amdir is another ranger. Oh, man, there's a Nazgul out there. He's trying to hold him back. And we can't get to Amdir. Oh, no, we want to help Amdir the ranger against the Black Rider. Oops. Well, bad timing. So here's Aragorn, who's the captain of the Rangers, seeing one of his own people fall right in front of him. That's gotta hurt. And the Black Rider rides off.
Come, hobbits. It is safe now.
Okay, yeah. Well, sorry, I had some dread going on there, Strider, so now I'm good. Okay. Celandine Brandybuck. Ah, okay, here they are. See, Amdir rescued them and then got... Oh, man. He's grievously wounded.
This was a dire turn of events.
Okay, okay. All right, we must be kept... So must keep the bounds of the Shire safe. Okay, Strider, how about I help out with that? I'll help keep the Shire safe. That sounds good. Okay.
Wounded by a Black Rider, the ranger Amdir escaped with his charges into the wild, making his way back to the village of Archet.
Okay, so Amdir is wounded and he's taken back to Archet.
Captain Brackenbrook, a retired sellsword, has allowed Strider and his companions to stay and take respite from their cares.
Brackenbrook is letting them stay in Archet. Okay, and we're fighting off brigands. Well, at least they were. If you start a human, you do that plot in Bree. But since I'm a Hobbit, that's not where I'm going to go. So here I am in Breeland. Oh wait, it is where I am going. Okay, cool. I forgot about that. All right, I've not played a Hobbit really myself before. I played a human and come through here. So here I am in Archet. All right. Very good. So I am now officially out of the what's called the starter area. That first opening sequence is when you're sort of not in the public game, and I'm now in the main game here. We can see here's my map of Archet here. Archet is a relatively small closed area here, but okay, I'm gonna try to run through this relatively quickly. Celandine Brandybuck has a quest for me.
Thank goodness you're awake. That fellow Amdir seems very ill.
Yeah, I better go check on Amdir. He does seem pretty ill, I agree. Hey, Amdir, how you feeling? That looked awful bad, getting hit by a Morgul weapon and stuff like that. I hear that can mess you up.
Do not trouble yourself on my account. It is only a chill.
Okay. Black Rider pierced his shoulder. We got a little foreshadowing here going on, right? Amdir's wound in the shoulder. Wonder if anything bad could come of that, maybe. But Amdir's just worried about Strider. Strider is in a dilemma. What's your dilemma, Strider?
There are too many deeds to be done. All pressing, and none of them easy.
There are too many deeds to be done. I agree, Strider. I feel like that all the time. So he's poor Strider is torn asunder. But Strider, you're not meant to be torn in two. You're meant to be one and whole. So let's see if we can help you. Archet must be warned that the Blackwolds are the brigand group that live in the woods here. But he should be seeking a different Baggins. Yeah, like the one we found on the road. Okay, I'm gonna get myself some new armor, I think. A ragged leather shirt. That sounds like an upgrade. Ooh, I just leveled up.
Not heed my warnings.
Yeehaw. Okay, talk to Captain Brackenbuck. Okay, all right, I can help. His true charge is plunging blindly to unfathomable peril. Yeah, you better go find Frodo, man, because he could end up who knows? He could end up in the old forest, in the Barrow Downs. Yeah, you better find out what's going on there. Okay, I got to talk to Captain Brackenbuck and figure out how to take care of things here in Archet so that poor Strider can focus on business here. Okay. All right. I'd say you don't believe the Blackwolds mean to attack? Like, seriously, they totally took us captive. What are you talking about? All right, I'm supposed to go do a survey of people. All right, let's go survey people. Hi, I'm doing a public opinion poll. Do you think the Black Wolves are a threat? You don't, huh? Okay. All right, thank you for that. Let's see. Does anybody else think that the Black Wolves are a threat? I'm going to carry on my public opinion poll over here. Constable Thistlewool.
What can I do for you?
No, you don't? Okay. All right. Well, that's disappointing. Okay, so nobody believes us that the Black Wolves are a danger, so we're going to have to... let's see. How about Peg? Peg, you believe me, right?
Greetings.
No, not really. Okay. Fine. So, Strider, look, I'm doing what I can here, but, public sentiment is against us here, so we're going to have to take matters into our own hands, I think, but fortunately, I'm a scrappy Hobbit burglar, and I can take care of business here.
Alas for peaceful folk everywhere.
But see, this is a really interesting theme that
evil people with evil intentions
that the game is developing, right? That it picks up on right away. Remember what Strider said at the Council of Elrond, right, about how oblivious Butterbur is. Right? If simple people are left free from care, then simple they will be, right? Alas for peaceful folk everywhere. It's an enormous task to convince them that evil people with evil intentions will commit evil deeds. They have especially the way that the people of Bree-land are unwilling to believe that anything like this could happen. I think that's. It's so
try to fight,
we can see how the story is trying to follow this. It does also do a pretty good job in most places of showing how many of the local people are resistant to the Rangers. They don't really know who they are, and they don't really trust them. It's so easy to come in to a game like this, and hey, like it's Strider, right? And we, from reading the books, are sort of predisposed to look at the Rangers, obviously as heroes and good guys, but they do a pretty good job of showing the local people being resistant to them, and possibly even giving them scornful names. Okay, all right. Now, I'm totally ready for the trials I will face. Strider, don't worry. You can trust me implicitly. But I apparently have to go talk to a burglar trainer. Now, people who have been playing this game much longer than I have been telling me... Oh, hang on, I never equipped my comparatively new armor there. Okay. Have been telling me that these trainers used to be necessary for the game, but they've been very much de-emphasized in later updates of the game. Okay. I'm supposed to use Cunning Attack? I can do this. Which one is Cunning Attack? Oh, this one is Cunning Attack. Okay. All right. I'm gonna use Cunning Attack. There we go. See, I did it. Really, I'm fine. I'm so. Did you see what I did to those spiders? They didn't even know what was coming. So really, I'm fine. Okay. No problem. Oh yeah. Sorry, I've got to pick an awesome weapon. I'm going knives. I don't want my Hobbit burglar to be carrying a sword, a huge sword. That just doesn't seem right. I'm going daggers. That's what I think. Yeah. No, yeah, that's what I want. That tarnished dagger looks like just the thing. Okay. All right. See, Strider, I could totally hit that target dummy, man. Those target dummies are no threat to me. So let me help.
Confident
Leave Archie to me, Strider. Yeah, I'm totally confident. Okay, all right.
Dear, my poor old
dude,
friend.
I leveled up again.
A shadow has crept over him.
Uh-oh, a shadow is creeping over Umdir. I was afraid of that. Okay. So what am I supposed to do? Oh, find King's Foil? Oh, excellent. Yeah, let's get him some King's Foil. Hey, do you have any... Can you find us any King's Foil?
I don't like the look of those Rangers one bit.
He says, I don't like the look of those Rangers one bit. Of course you don't. Okay, grows around Bronway's Folly. Yep, okay, no problem. I'll get some of that. And I'm supposed to talk to Calder Cobb? Your best man, huh? Okay, fine. So I got to go find some king's foil. We need Athelas to help Amdir. Excellent. Yeah, let's do that. I see that in the chat Trish is teasing me that this is actually how I play all the time. Even when I'm not streaming, I'm just always talking to myself. She's probably right about that. Very cool. Okay, so here we are in the Breelands. It's a little more dangerous out here outside the palisade. It's interesting their choice to put Archet in a palisade like this, to make it a walled town. They have almost all. Stato isn't, but Bree is comparatively highly fortified, more than I expected when I saw it for the first time. And Archet here, and Coombe also has palisade walls. This is, of course, nothing of the sort is mentioned in the Lord of the Rings, but that's hardly surprising, as Archet is given no description whatsoever. You'll notice, by the way, the sort of traditional kind of sort of slightly Tudor-esque kind of traditional English architecture that the buildings of Archet have. But it makes sense that they would have a palisade wall. I mean, many any sort of small town on the frontier would have, would need to have walls to keep out wild animals and things like that. We do get descriptions of that kind of thing in other places in Tolkien's work. I'm thinking particularly of the way that he describes the woodmen in The Hobbit, that is, those people who later on become connected with Bjorn, the ones that the goblins and wargs were planning to go out and attack on the night of the fire and the eagle rescue on this, out of the frying pan into the fire. They were going to go raid the woodmen. And when he describes that kind of culture, that is, a group of men living out sort of on the frontier, in the surrounded by wilderness, they do have wooden palisades and things like that. In particular, the best descriptions we get of that kind of thing actually are in the Children of Húrin, the men who are living out there on the fringes, the outlaws that. Around the outlaws that Turin joins up with, if you've read the Children of Húrin. That's one of the best descriptions of that kind of world. So it seems to be, that's sort of the concept that we seem to be going with here in Archet, and that's pretty cool. So, okay, I got to talk to Calder Cobb over here. Where is he? There he is. Come here, Calder Cobb. You need some work done? I can do some work here.
Well.
Defeat wolves.
It isn't the rumour monger.
And he's sending me to Bronway's Folly to search for the source of the wolves. Okay. All right, Calder Cobb, I trust you implicitly. I shall go off and try to find the source of the wolves. Okay. Here's a wolf. Is this close enough? Does this count? Yep. All right. Oh, I forgot to sneak up on it. See, I'm a burglar. I forgot to be burglarious. Okay, shh. Oh. I'm sneaking up on you, though. You don't see me at all. Oh, hey. Come back. Where'd we go? Here, I'm multitasking again. Okay. Get him. Oh, take that. Oh, yeah. All right, I successfully sneaked. That was rewarding. Oh, Black Old Spy. Shh. Better be burglarious. Here I come. I can't even see myself. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Man, that is stealthy when I can't even see myself. Okay. Excellent. Alright, I guess I'd better go where I'm actually supposed to go, instead of wandering off into the middle of nowhere. You still don't see me? Okay, fine. I'll sneak. Alright. Excellent. Alright, where am I? Yeah, I'm over here. That's what I thought. Okay. Let's go over to Bronway's Folly, because I gotta find Athos for Emdir. That's even more important than killing wolves, believe it or not. Okay. Again, wolves, one of the other things that are mentioned as an enemy in the Shire, and in Breland, and of course, would have been some... Hey, King's Foil! I found it! Alright, I got your King's Foil. Let's see. I'm going to sneak. Can I pick up things when I sneak? Let's see. Does that make me unsneaky? No. Yes, it does. Okay. Oh, well, I can't sneakily pick up King's Foil, I guess. It's a little disappointing. Alright, I'm going up because I gotta find my King's Foil and find the source of the wolves. One more. Shh. Sneaking again. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, man, I'm one dangerous burglar. I'm limping. Oh, dear. I'm limping now. Got hamstrung by that wolf. Happens all the time. Okay. Any other King's Foil? Yeah, one more King's Foil. Okay. All right. And I say, are people criticizing me? Are the veterans criticizing me for using mouse clicks on my skills? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do that sometimes. God, there's a strange banner. Whose banner is on Bronway's Folly? Uh-oh. Wolfmaster. What? Calder betrayed me? I can't believe it. Oh, you are a wimp. You are a complete wimp. Hey, yeah, Calder, why did you set me up? Alright. I'm running back. Wolf. I could totally take that wolf. Oops, broke my ankle. Sorry, hate it when that happens. If you're in game, you will become used to the delightful sound of spraining your ankle when you jump off of high places. Okay, so we're headed back now. There's my black-wooled spy who has returned. Got some more wolves, but here in our stream we're all about quest completion. I'm not going to take a lot of your time wandering around killing extra wolves. So we're gonna go right through the story. People are telling me not to back down from my clicking.
Impossible.
Problem is, see, I do the movement with the letter keys. So I do keyboard for the movement, and it's sometimes hard for me to shift, especially when I'm trying to look at the webcam and do other things. Okay. Ooh, I get falling burglar skills. I get skills to help me fall better. That's kind of awesome, actually. I've never done a burglar. I have no idea what burglarious skills await me. So I'm really happy. Calder Cobb is surprised that I survived his little ambush. Okay, so again, what we see here in Archit, following the pattern that is established in the Fellowship of the Ring in Bree, right? We have people here in Archit, so we have stooges in Archit in positions of trust who are actually working with brigands lurking out in the woods to help to infiltrate the town. This, of course, is the model that we see in Bree with Bill Ferny, but more importantly, with Harry Goatleaf, who is one of the gatekeepers and who is going to be the one to let the brigands into the town when they attack. So we see how the story is paralleling the story we get later on. They're using those sort of themes and elements from the Fellowship of the Ring story, and they're putting that in sort of a smaller version here in Archit for us to go through. Okay, so he's threatening, and he doesn't care what I tell Brackenbrock, and he's all Calder Cobb isn't even sorry. So I'm going to go tell Brackenbrock that I got set up, and Calder Cobb isn't even sorry. I mean, you'd think he could show a little repentance or something, but I guess not. Okay. All right. Back to Strider, not to Captain Brackenbrock, apparently. Okay, so, yeah, Strider, I've got a strange... Hey, somebody else is coming to Stryder with a strange tale.
Calder Cobb is a traitor.
He's totally a traitor, Strider. I mean, he absolutely is. Hey, you know, the Kingsfoil wasn't easy. I appreciate your gratitude. I really do.
I cannot decide which is more dangerous right now. Calder Cobb's treachery or the ignorance of Captain Brackenbrook.
Yeah, we're trying to decide, right? Yeah, Calder Cobb's treachery on the one hand, the ignorance of Captain Brackenbrook on the other hand. They're both pretty dangerous. I agree. Archit is in trouble. What you really need is a scrappy Hobbit burglar. Okay, I got a question a brigand. All right. Interrogation. That's what I'm talking about. I'm good at this. I'll intimidate him, Strider. I'll get the information out of him. Hey. Yeah. Calder Cobb can vouch for you. I bet he can.
Boy, you there! Let me go! Calder Cobb can vouch for me!
Okay, yeah. Soon you'll be free? I don't think so. Okay. Hey, Ned Pruner, did you hear that? He just totally confessed, man. Like, my intimidation skills are top notch. Okay. Hooray! The jailer believes me. Okay. Public opinion is turning to my favor.
Can you say
Hey,
this?
Captain Brackenbrock.
Calder Cobb has been loyal to me since he was a boy.
Oh, that's what you think. He's been loyal to you since he was a boy. Ha! All right, I got some ragged leather boots out of
I
this.
suppose
Ooh,
it would be
another level.
wise to investigate your claim.
Yes, it would be wise to
suppose
investigate my
it would
claim.
be wise to investigate your claim.
Okay. I gotta talk to Cal Sprigley. Alright, yeah, he's the farmer down south. I can find him. Ooh, I got a new skill. What's my new skill? Double-edged strike. Okay, yep, I got 2 knives. I'm good. Okay, and that comes in when I hit a critical? Alright. I'll keep an eye out for that. Excellent. Okay. I'm talking to Cal Sprigley. Okay. Any questions while I'm running south to meet Farmer Sprigley? I want to any lore questions? I'm seeing lots of fun conversation over in the chat window. But yeah, if anybody has a topic of conversation you'd like to bring in, that would be fine. I really like the landscape in the Breeland. It's green and we've got the boars. Okay, watch out for the boars. Okay. Happy to take lore questions. Can be on anything. Doesn't have to be on Archit or what I'm going through here. How am I liking the burglar mechanics so far? Not bad. I gotta sort of smooth things out a little bit. But you know, so far so good. It's I mean, I knew coming in that burglar was going to be melee only. They don't have any ranged weapons at all, which I kind of miss. My first character, the one I still primarily identify with, is a guardian. So I'm used to melee, but I kind of like having the missile version. Melee only characters involve so much more running because I can't make the mobs come and attack me, but that's okay. Hey, Cal Sprigley, what's going on?
Eh? You're the best thing that's happened to us all day.
I'm the best thing that's happened to you all day? Well, gosh, Cal Sprigley, thanks. You're one of the cheerfulest people I've seen all day, too. That's very happy. Okay,
our best
so
hope
what's
is
going
to
on?
Get help from Combe, our neighbours. They will not let our Chet fall to brigands.
Okay, ask for help at Combe. That sounds like a good plan. I better, yep. Better equip my new equipment here too. All right, we'll do that. All right, let's go find help. Let's go get help from Combe. Absolutely. Comb being, by the way, I know it kind of looks like comb, as in something that you would use to comb your hair. Unlike me, I don't. It was surprised you to use combs all that much anymore. But it doesn't mean, of course, a hair comb. It refers to a coombe, meaning a like a grove of trees. So it's we've got a little town in the woods called Combe. A little cluster of trees in the woods. Uh-oh. The Blackwolds have blocked the way to Combe. They have isolated Archet. Okay, this is definitely looking threatening. Cal Sprigley is going to be less happy to see me the second time, I think. All right. Okay. Aerotherapist is singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" Absolutely. So we've got this. I've totally got this Hobbit bromance going on with Cal Sprigley over here. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Oh, hey, Freewarn's here. Oh, awesome. Okay, Cal.
This cannot be.
What do you got?
I must write to Brackenbrook at once.
Hey, you're going to write to Brackenbrook? Hey, no problem. I'll take your letter. Yeah, come on, Brackenbrook, get with the program. It's time to protect Archet. You have a Hobbit burglar here to protect you. I'm ready. And again, this is it's one of the things. This is of course a standard RPG thing, but it just never, to me anyway, it never gets old. Like, you are the hero. It's all down to you. And of course, there's something especially magical about that in the Middle-earth context, right? Like all of the ways in which LOTRO creates these situations where, behind the scenes, the Fellowship would surely have failed if it hadn't been for you. And I'm telling you, like, it's just one of those. I can't even imagine how obsessed with this game I would have been had it existed when I was like 14. Oh man, like, it's probably best for my adult life that that didn't happen, or else I might never have graduated from high school. Okay. Someone's asking how long we're going to go. I've got to go in about half an hour or so. I was hoping to get through the opening sequence here today, so that we could get back to the Shire. But we'll see. We'll see if I can complete that. Feel free to. Again, any lore questions you have, if you want to ask general lore questions, I'm happy to fill up the time that I spend. And as I recall from this quest line, I'm going to be doing a fair bit of running here for a little bit. I'm happy to fill up that time with answering any other questions you might have about Tolkien or Tolkien's works. So anyway, I encourage you to ask questions. Trish, I'd ask. I know you're in the chat room here. If you see a lore question go by that I don't see, feel free to text that to me so I don't miss it. It's easy to miss in the chat box here. Anyway, Captain Brackenbrook, would you please get with the program now?
Done?
But thank you for the trousers. You shouldn't have, Captain Brackenbrook. You've been kind of a jerk, but now you've given me trousers, so I feel like we're friends.
I have been.
You have been wrong, but it's okay, Captain Brackenbrook. I'm here for you, and you're fine. Let's talk to your friend John. You exiled John to the hunting lodge. That was pretty bad, Captain Brackenbrook, but I'm going to help, because that's the kind of helpful hobbit I am. Wait a second. Sorry. Hey, Strider wants to talk to me, so I better go talk to Strider. Hey, Strider. What's up?
Do not despair.
I'm not despairing.
Well.
I'm so hopeful. Thank you. I think I've done reasonably well. Okay, I was just going to go to John Strider. I'm so far ahead of you, man. Like Captain Brockenbook said he's got to talk to John. I was going to go talk to John. But with Strider's endorsement, I'm definitely going to go talk to John in the hunting lodge. Okay. All right. Off we go. All right. Is it still any question? Anything that you've ever wanted to know about Tolkien, about the Lord of the Rings? Any nagging questions you've had? Balrogs don't have wings, by the way, for instance. Just in case you've ever wondered that burning question, the answer is definitively no. There's really no debate on this subject. Balrogs are completely wingless. But I have long since acknowledged and will continue to acknowledge that Balrogs look much cooler with wings. So I have full sympathy for any visual artist that chooses to depict Balrogs with wings because they look awesome that way. But they just don't have them. Sanzelm asks, how did I discover the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien? Well, as a child, I was given a copy of The Hobbit when I was 8 years old. I had just read, or actually my parents had read to me, The Chronicles of Narnia, which I loved and still love. And so I had a cousin who said, "Oh, if you like Narnia, you'll like this," and he gave me a copy of The Hobbit, which I read, and I just devoured that and The Lord of the Rings pretty soon after that, and have been reading and rereading ever since. Let's see. Okay, so there was another question here. What are hobbits? I read that they came out of the East and the Old Took was quite magical or something. Well, the origin of hobbits is never really explained. They seem to be related to men. That is, if you sort of look at the major elements, right? That is the primary thing that seems to one of the primary things anyway, it seems to define the races is their status. Like the elves don't die, and humans are mortal. Dwarves are mortal too, but much longer lived. Hobbits have a longer lifespan than the average human, but then again, so do some humans, right? Strider lives to, over 200. So some humans obviously had that kind of a lifespan too. They seem to be in the general. So right away, they seem to be in the general category of humans. They live, 100 years ish, and then die and don't, sail off into the west. At least most of them don't sail off into the west. So they seem to be related to humans. How they came to be what they are, that is how they came to be short, which is the primary difference, and get such furry feet. We don't really know. Tolkien never explains that. He never gives that kind of an origin story. We know that they kind of migrated to the Shire from the upper vales of Anduin, so they are linguistically connected, not genealogically connected, not genetically connected, but linguistically connected with the ancestors of the Rohirrim, who also came from the northern vales of Anduin. And so that's why the language of the Shire is like the language of the Rohirrim, or has some connections in certain words and place names. This, of course, being the kind of thing Tolkien was himself passionately interested in. So he puts those kinds of details in the books. But even there, we're given nothing other than that about the origin of hobbits, and it's never really explained exactly how they came to be. How was it that if they are a subset ultimately of humans, how this subset of humans came to be the way they are and different. We don't really know. Okay. Oh, people want to talk about Goldberry. Okay, yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to Braxwolf wants to know who would win in a fight, Treebeard or Tom Bombadil. Treebeard couldn't take Tom Bombadil. Are you kidding?
I presume you're here to bring me ill news from town.
Yeah, I'm here to bring you bad news. Sorry, but your dad, on the one hand, your dad feels awful, right? So let's help your dad, shall we, John?
Calder Cobb has shown his true colours at last.
All right, you knew Caldercop. See, John, you're a wily guy. Okay, let's go spy on the Black Wolves and thin their ranks. Time to take the fight to the brigands. That's what I say. Those brigands aren't going to waylay hobbits in the Shire anymore. I won't have it, I tell you. We're going to go and waylay them back. That's what. Okay. Don't really need the sky view here. Nor do I really want to be attacked by a marsh fly. Okay. Hey, here's somebody else. No, dude, high five. John Brackenbook's right back up that way. Okay. Goldberry. Here, I'll swim around and talk about Goldberry. What kind of creature is Goldberry? She's the daughter of the river. That's who she is. What does that mean? Well, it's unclear. She's a couple different ways to answer this question. We can answer this question from within the framework of Tolkien's own mythology. That is, if we're thinking from a Silmarillion standpoint and all that, we can answer that question and say she's some kind of Maya. I mean, she is a spirit. So somebody's beating me in. Someone's beating me in here. I gotta make sure. I gotta get in here before all the Black Wolves are gone. All right. Yeah. See, see the glowing hands. That's a minstrel, right? She's a minstrel, and you can tell by how her hands are glowing. She's in. That's a minstrel in attack mode. Anyway, I'm going to sneak up on this Black Wolf. So, Goldberry would definitely be a Maya, but she's the daughter of the river, so she's some kind of water spirit. Like basically what would have been in another mythology. You know, she's like a water nymph, basically. If she doesn't seem to fit perfectly well into the sort of larger, hey, look, it's their plans. If she doesn't seem to fit very well into the larger sort of view of the Silmarillion world, that's because she doesn't predate the whole Silmarillion world, but she certainly predates a lot of what Tolkien developed later on as he went. Goldberry was originally part of the poem The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, which I'm teaching a class this semester on Tolkien's poetry at Mythgard Institute, which has been so much fun. And we're going to be doing The Adventures of Tom Bombadil pretty soon, actually. And, oops, I forgot to sneak. Here I am coming up like I'm some kind of champion or Bjorning instead of being a burglar. Shh. I'm going to sneak up on this one. Hey, don't walk away from me. I'm trying to sneak up on you. Darn it. There we go. Okay. I was in invisible pursuit. Ah, yeah. Leveled up again. Okay. Anyway, so as I say, Goldberry predates it. The Adventures of Tom Bombadil was originally a poem that Tolkien wrote. Hey, hang on a second. Somebody's coming after me. I'm not going to stand for that. All right. Published in the mid-30s, and he. That is the Adventures of Tom Bombadil, and Goldberry is just one of the adventures that Tom Bombadil has. The other adventures are mostly things you'll recognize too. Tom has an encounter with Old Man Willow. In fact, many of the lines that Tolkien gives to Merry and Pippin when they're captured by Old Man Willow were actually originally from Tom Bombadil himself. He gets captured by the Willow, but he and the Willow Man seem to be kind of, well, if not buddies exactly, they seem to be on kind of friendly terms. Sort of they're sort of joking and teasing each other. And the Old Man Willow doesn't really seem to mean any harm, really, when he captures Tom Bombadil. But Tom Bombadil sings him to sleep, using some of the same lines that he uses in The Fellowship of the Ring. And then he gets captured by badgers. That one doesn't make the final book. And he has an encounter with a Barrow-wight. But Goldberry is the first encounter that he has. And he meets Goldberry when he's going down to the river in the Fellowship of the Ring, he says that he first found the river daughter down there where the lilies grow. What he doesn't say in the Fellowship of the Ring is that in the original poem, when he first met Goldberry, when he went down to the river and she reached up and grabbed him and dragged him into the water and tried to drown him, which is sweet, you have to admit. But that, of course, is a traditional English fairy tale trope, or rather, not exactly a fairy tale trope, but a sort of an English countryside tradition. That there are many rivers in England that were supposed to have been populated by these fairy spirits who specialized in drowning children, particularly. And the most famous of these was called Jenny Greenteeth. So anyway, Tom convinces Goldberry not to drown her, and then later on he thinks that she really was awfully cute. So he goes back and proposes, and they get married. And one of the things that I love about their wedding feast is described. And guess what they have at their wedding feast? Yellow cream and honeycomb and that is exactly the things that Goldberry says is laid out on the table for the hobbits when they come to his house in the Fellowship of the Ring. That line is exactly word for word taken from the poem describing the wedding feast of Tom and Goldberry, which I think is pretty cool. Hey, look, it's my minstrel friend. Yo, minstrel friend.
Good work, my friend.
Hey, no problem. Ooh, a plumed hat. A plumed hat would look much cooler than a guard's helm.
I believe there is hope for us yet. We only need a strategy.
Okay. So there's another path that we have to discover, but it's choked with spiders. Oh, dear. Okay. We'll have to see what we can do about that. So anyway, Goldberry is peculiar in large part because, as Tom Bombadil is peculiar. And if she does, as I said, if she doesn't seem to fit in, it's because she's one of the several characters whom Tolkien pre-invented, really thinking in a different way. Again, in the Adventures of Tom Bombadil, he was really dealing with the English countryside. And so he incorporates Goldberry out of the English countryside fairy traditions. But then he loves Tom Bombadil, and so he brings Tom Bombadil and Goldberry, along with some of their friends, Old Man Willow and the Barrow-wights, into the Fellowship of the Ring. But they're not really sort of fully naturalized citizens, right? They still are a little bit they're a little bit alien to the rest of the Lord of the Rings world. I don't hold that against them. I still think they're pretty awesome. Okay, all right. So I have to see if this. So there's another way, I guess, the Black Wolves can come into town, right? But we've got to explore the Old East Path and see if there are spiders there, which I'm sure there will be, and then kill them. So okay, I'll do that. Me and this other guy, apparently. Hope you save some spiders for me, dude, because I got to kill some spiders too. But I only need to kill 4 of them, and that's not very many compared to how many spiders are over here. So we'll see. Okay. All right. I'm being asked what day and night do I normally stream. I actually don't have a normal stream. The Mythgard Institute has a kinship on Landreval, and we do some kin events as well as a regular, not a streaming, but an in-game gathering, which we call Mythgard Adventures. So I'm often in-game for that, and we do have a pretty active kinship on Landreval. But my streaming, actually, I'm normally going to be streaming here. I'm going to be streaming weekly here as we go through, as you can follow me and Gryfflet. Ooh, I almost got to use my new skill. Missed my opportunity there. Spider died too quickly. Anyway, so there it is. Yeah, new skill. Awesome. So definitely, you can tune in every Friday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can follow Gryfflet in my adventures through the Epic Quest line. Yeah, I'm really hoping, as I said, I was really hoping to get through the through Breeland here today, through the Archit stuff here today, so that I could get to the Shire for next time. I'm gonna sneak over to the wall. Shh. I'm sneaking because I don't need to fight any more spiders. I can't even see myself. Wow, that's really... Okay, there I am. I'm sparkling a little bit. Okay. The wall is intact. Oh, and there's a dead Blackwold scout who was trying to see if he could get into Archet this way. Aha. Okay. So good. So they can't come in this way. Alright, you okay, dude? I think you're okay. You totally got those spiders. Nothing to worry about. Alright. So I'm going to go and talk to John Brackenbrook here. Okay, see, these spiders aren't even actually aggressive, so that makes it easier. Do I have a VIP subscription? I do. Yes, I do. I actually played free-to-play for a while, mostly because I was just kind of curious when I started to see how much you could do free-to-play, and I played for quite a while on free-to-play, and it was really cool. But I did purchase a VIP subscription, both because I'm actually quite keen to support the game, and because I really like swift travel. That was the other thing that particularly drew me to the VIP subscription. So yes, my character name here, I am Gryfflet, Gryfflet. That is my new character name here. My primary character, my guardian, by the way, which is the one I primarily take on our Mythgard adventures, is named Wigand. Wigend. Wigand. It's Anglo-Saxon. It just means warrior.
A dead end will surely work in our
I thought it was
favor.
I thought it was a very Tolkien thing to have a warrior named Warrior in Anglo-Saxon. He's always doing that kind of thing, whether it be in the Hobbit with naming the names like Lake Town and Bywater, and I mean almost all of the names in the Hobbit are simply descriptive in that way. But a lot of his Anglo-Saxon names too, like Aedoras, the city of the Rohirrim, it means city or buildings in Anglo-Saxon. The Maearis, the horses of the Rohirrim, it means horses in Anglo-Saxon. So I thought it would be kind of a funny Tolkienian joke to name my warrior. So that's where Wigand's name came from. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, Erithert is absolutely right. Okay, hang on. Okay, quick, we gotta go defend Archet. All right. But hang on. Oh, yes. Sorry, Erithert is pointing out the very serious fashion faux pas I am currently committing by... Wait, where are my shoes? I can't even see anything here. I want to hide my shoes. Where can I hide my shoes? There we go. There we go. Okay. Now I look more hobbity. Hey. No, I don't. Oh, I forgot to wear it. Sorry. Yeah. Wear that. Okay. There we go. Now I've got my bare hobbit feet again. That makes me feel better. Okay. All right. Time to finish the intro. And then I'll be done streaming for today. Oh, thank you. I got my title. Excellent. All right, we ready? Okay, Erithert, I know that makes you feel better. I appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up there. I really that was bad. Okay, let's go. Bring it. Oh no, Archet is aflame.
And his hunters have reached the outskirts of Archet to find it already ablaze. A desperate struggle to save their village is about to begin. Hopefully, you have arrived in time.
Come on, Blackwolds. They've spotted us. Yeah.
We have no time to lose.
I got your back, John Brackenbrock. Let's go.
We must save Ned.
Yeah, let's save Ned. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Hey, come on. I'm saving Ned. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got nothing. Hey, Ned. Okay. Amdir is close by. He escaped. All right. We have to defend the badger, but defend the pub by all means. Oh, no. I think we failed to save Ned, after all. That's kind of sad.
Archet must still be saved.
Okay. Oh, now the widow comes? That's so sad. All right. Come on, John. I got you. Let's go. Sorry, Peg. I tried. I did. Okay, we've got to go around.
Up ahead.
Come on, say that over here. All right. You think you could send it to me and John Brackenbrock? Okay. All right.
We must find my father before it's too late.
Now let's find your father before it's too late. You know, the business with like the death of Ned Pooner, there are definitely sad moments in the story. That was a pretty small sad moment as they go. There are definitely sad moments. Hey, Adley Spiderbane.
Well met, friend. Is the crafting hall safe?
Uh-oh. We must save the crafting hall! Oh dear. Come back here. You destroyed the crafting hall, you jerk! Alright. I have to admit, I'm not feeling very burglarious here. Just fighting in huge melees here. I gotta figure out how to do this.
Although the Mad Badger burns, I still hold
out. The Mad Badger. Oh, that's a good name for a pub. The Badger's a mediocre name. The Mad Badger is a good name for a pub. Alright. You gotta go around and find the Mad Badger. Alright, I gotta sneak around and flank people, I think. I gotta stop thinking like a guardian here when I'm in combat. Alright.
Father, I knew you would survive.
Okay, we found it. There's Amdir. It's okay, Captain Brackenbrock. We forgive you. Okay. All right.
They approach. Defend us.
Okay, I'm gonna. Hey, I can't sneak. Oh, why can't I sneak? I'm trying to get behind him, but I don't think I can flank him. Come here. Well, I wish I could attack you with melee or missile weapon, but I don't have a missile weapon. All right. Okay, so I had another lore question, which is, what do I think happened to the Blue Wizards? So I'll chat about the Blue Wizards in the middle of the combat here. What I think happened to the Blue Wizards? Well, again, Tolkien changed his mind about this at a... Uh-oh. Carghouls have come in Caldor Cobb. This looks bad. These are the Black Riders' Scarlet Cousins. Caldor Cobb should be ashamed. Here we're all cowering in dread. I can't do anything. Uh-oh. No, Amdir is going to them. No, they've called Amdir and he comes. Oh dear. So see, this is an interesting illustration that we're given right off the top of what would have happened to Frodo. You know, Gandalf says that he was beginning to fade and everything else. And then Caldor Cobb just kills Captain Brackenbrock. That's awful. I mean, he was kind of an idiot, but he didn't deserve that. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I love how they, in the beginning of the epic quest line, we get the, you know, the centerpiece of this opening sequence here is Amdir, right? He seemed like a pretty minor character. There was me, there was Strider, but Amdir is the one who becomes the focus, the ranger who sacrificed himself trying to save the hobbits, but was wounded by a Morgul blade. And I love the way that anticipates what's coming in the Fellowship of the Ring and gives us this sort of preemptive sense. Here's what the plan was. Now, of course, with Frodo, because he's the ring bearer, him coming under the power of the ring. You know, of the ring wraiths is even more important, obviously, but what is it exactly? What is the kind of thing that was going on? What was their plan with the Morgul blade? And we see that being dramatized here with Amdir. Amdir has now turned. His will is now under the domination of the enemy, and he has gone to them. That's really sad, John. Sorry about your dad.
My father was right.
So Archit burned down. Your father is dead. The ranger was taken by evil men. I agree. That's not a good day. We can just wait for the flames to die down. That's kind of sad. He's sending me back to the Shire. Okay.
With the Black Wolf's grip on Archit broken, the hobbits hurry home to the Shire, eager to return to their simple, peaceful lives.
Hurrying home to the peaceful life in the Shire.
But not all is as peaceful as it seems.
Not all.
Troubles stir at the bounds, and a shadow of fear is left in the wake of the Nazgul.
I like that. Yeah, so the narrator has just said that a shadow of fear has been left in the Shire in the wake of the Nazgul. And that's really interesting. I mean, it's one of the things that's a central part of the drama when the Black Riders come into the Shire and the Fellowship of the Ring, is basically the way that the whole sort of peaceful world of the Shire is fundamentally in conflict with the Black Riders, and how they themselves are sort of on alien ground. So there's a sense in which the sort of the power, and it's so vague the way that Tolkien talks about this. I'm tempted to call it a spiritual power, though that sounds perhaps a little bit more out there than I would like. But anyway, the power of the Shire for sort of peace and wholesomeness, which is at war with the evil power of fear and domination that the Ringwraiths bring with them. So I like how that's kind of being manifested, and the implication, of course, that the little that our little intro sketch there gave us as we transition now to the Shire realm is that something has been disturbed, that the peace of the Shire is no more what it was. Now that the Black Riders coming in is not just an isolated thing, but only the beginning of troubles that are coming, and that seems quite plausible, kind of interesting. But anyway. I didn't get to finish answering the question about the Blue Wizards. Try to remind me next time. I'll take up the Blue Wizards question when next time I'm running around between one little village and another here in the Shire next week. But that's all we have time for here today. I'm going to have to sign off. We got through the intro portion, and we're now coming to the Shire. We're here in Little Delving. So next week, we will journey about the Shire. We'll find Mickle Delving. We'll visit Bag End, where Lobelia Sackville Baggins has already taken charge. And we'll go to Tuckborough. Maybe we'll get to see the Thane. And I look forward to exploring some of the Shire with you, continuing to answer your questions and to have fun as we explore the world of Middle-earth together. Thanks for joining me. For everybody, I'd like to thank Turbine for having me, and I've enjoyed streaming with you this afternoon. So thanks, everybody, and I will see you next week, same time, Friday at 12:30 p.m. Thanks very much. Bye, everybody.